Kelly has it on a tee. Kendrick Law is back to receive. Stewart is an absolute game record. Here's Kendrick Law. He finds the edge, and they're finding new ways to get him the football as he takes it past midfield for a pickup of 11.
Early mistake for this young quarterback, but not as bad as it could have been.
Now to the pistol and a handoff to McGowan, and he's able to find the edge and rip off a big one on second down. That's a pickup of 17, and the Cats are marching with this ground game.
Build the offense around this. Watch your tight end right here seal the edge and be able to give Kentucky an outside run. Climb up to that second level. Nice contact, physicality. Caddis's game has come a long way this year.
Big shoes to fill. Yeah, Kyle Kennard, an All-American the other end last year. This is Dante Dowdell, who takes it off the left side. Great job in the portal trying to rebuild this offense. It starts with the running game. Here's McGowan, shakes a man to the outside and to the end zone. 20-yard touchdown run for Seth McGowan. Already his 7th rushing touchdown of the season.
Great job by Cutter Boley, just reading the end. That was the right read, getting McGowan up north and south, one-on-one with the safety. Bakari Swain back there were on full display last week. Let's see if they can get some run game to complement it.
As a starter last year, preseason All-America this year, Rasul Faison tries to find something and gets just a yard. -9 will do some damage to your average. So Jordan, 2 tough yards there, likely going to the air here, but I want to go backwards. How do they get? And a great job bottling up the run this time, led by J.Q. Hardaway. And he said something that you've talked about ad nauseum. He goes with the stripes on the helmet. You got me thinking, like, those are pretty bold stripes for both teams. If I was Carolina, trying to return the favor. Here's Faison off the right side, and he stays on his feet into the end zone. Both teams have scored on their opening possession as Faison takes it in for 12. When they've been at their best, that's been this program's identity. Here's Seth McGowan in the loss in Columbia last week.
Malachi Wood, an extra offensive lineman in the game.
On 3rd and 2 to the flat. That's the tight end Willie Rodriguez, and he is off to the races. Rodriguez finally taken down inside the 25. What a play call by Bush Hamden, and ends up a 54-yard rumble.
His eyes in the backfield before he's late peeling off. You see nobody else going with Willie Rodriguez. You bring extra offensive linemen in the game. That usually tells the defense, hey, 3rd and short, they're going to run the football, get big boys in there, little play action. Love the design, and I love the trust early from Bush Hamden.
On the other side, getting Dylan Stewart's eyes in the backfield, getting him to lose discipline.
They're running at him tonight. They're running at these defensive ends.
Here's Kendrick Law, the Alabama transfer. He's got a lead blocker or 2. And he's forced out of bounds just shy of the marker. They went to Law in the 2nd play of the game today. Hager. Kentucky has scored on each of its first 2 possessions, and Coway stays perfect on the season, 7 for 7.
For a secondary that's been banged up for Kentucky.
They put Dingle, the former Kentucky tight end, in motion, and there's a big lick. They'll leave 2nd and 10. I want to go back to Sellers.
Sure, he's starting.
It's 2nd and 6. They swing it out to McGowan. He turns it upfield, and he picks up a first down. This guy was highly recruited coming out of Mesquite, Texas. He ended up with Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma.
I'm trying to give Boley some time here.
Stewart comes to the inside and drills him. The ball came loose. It's scooped up by Carolina. And another non-offensive touchdown. Jatias Gear picked up the Dylan Stewart forced fumble and took it 41 yards.
Directions. I walked to the line of scrimmage and I slid it to Jadeveon Clowney every single play.
To the slant. Oh, picked off! It's Gerald Kilgore. Kilgore weaves through. There's a flag down, but he's in the end zone on a 45-yard return. Takeaways turned the game into Carolina's favor last year. Now the run game with McGowan.
Explain why, but it does help you get that continuity with other players.
The center's just complaining.
It was my favorite period of the day.
You guys
get
stand over there and talk about playing golf and who you're
you chat about what you did on the weekend, and the centers just sit there in their stance like, yeah, obviously we'll get you. Got Jordan Dingle, tight end in the backfield here. So they sneak him into the flats.
Former captain pressures Sellers. He's going the wrong way, and they push him all the way back to the logo. Marquise Humphrey Grace, my goodness, the junior.
The center just slide a little bit too far in this direction. He's got to peel off on that defensive end. Grace looping around. Slide protection, Cole, once again having trouble with it. He's a little rattled from the last couple plays.
There's Law on a touch pass, as you said. And Law squirts free before taking a big lick from Brian Thomas. They rush four, and Boley hit as he throws, threw it up for grabs. It is intercepted. Jump ball brought down by Brandon Cisse. And helped the Panthers to a Super Bowl. In front of the Hall of Fame coach Don Shula, Mike. To the ground game, and touchdown, Russell Faison. And we got extra pushing and shoving, and multiple flags. After some of the big guys mixed it up, Foley must be seeing ghosts. And then we'll keep it on the ground with McGowan. Here he comes. And they go straight ahead. That's a first down run, and a little bit more on a shifty move to the outside by Seth McGowan. Bowling to the outside. Clock stops at 34. Here comes the pressure. Got it away. And Bowling's now found a rhythm as Jamori Macklin comes up with his first catch of the game.
Shoulder.
He looked good in warm-ups. Look healthy. Four-man rush. They get rid of it quickly to Willie Rodriguez. And Rodriguez pitches to the edge.
Got to be careful.
And it's Macklin on a U-turn on UG. And then, whoa! Huge hit. Scooped up by South Carolina's Jalen Kilgore. And Kilgore gets taken down. We're just throwing caution to the wind. Another Kentucky turnover. This one won't sting as bad as the first few did.
That is the end of the first half.
It's Harbor in motion. And Faison left side, nothing. Cole?
I got to jump in on this with you because I was a little confused with Coach Beaver.
And break and contain, that was the recipe for Kentucky early.
Here's a screen. Law turned it upfield instead of cutting to the middle.
And getting that guy involved.
Yeah.
Just getting Kendrick Law the ball with some space to run and make a play. You know, he evolved into something like that for Kentucky with a young quarterback. That would be really good.
Boley escapes the pocket and then gets popped from behind and in from in the front. Fred Johnson knocked him right into Peyton Williams.
How many times we see him in that first half as he takes a big hit to end this one, little ricochet hit. How many times we see him sit there and wait and wait and wait and take a hit. Right, timing, listening to your feet as a young, the numbers there.
Second down. Matt Fuller getting an opportunity tonight. J.Q. Hardaway with the stop. Fuller, second-year freshman from Jessup, Georgia, at a Wayne County High School. A couple of weeks ago, suffering a medical emergency. Going back to Beamer, I said, does Lenora Sellers have to run the ball effectively for this offense?
You got to dedicate at least one hat for a defender to him, and that means you have numbers elsewhere. That's what you've heard it before. Maybe you don't know what it means. We say, "Oh, the quarterback run that adds a hat." Well, yeah, because someone has to account. Jeff Saturday is a great segment on Get Up where he loves that too. Put the belly on a man.
And they put the belly on Sellers and take him down. Tavion Goodson Gadsden with the sack for Kentucky. Zach Calzada with a shoulder injury and then got his spot taken by Bowling. Kendrick Law took a hit for high school in Cincinnati. And they run it behind him, and McGowan takes a hit.
Guys, I asked some of the offensive staff, really in our meetings and on the field.
That was on the second possession of the game. Good.
We got a 2-score lead going into the fourth quarter, and we need to go finish by executing. Obviously, that was a pretty good start right there with Dre. Points on this drive are absolutely critical.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
And he turns to Matt.
As close to out of reach as it feels with how Kentucky's pass game has been tonight. So crucial that this Kentucky defense comes up with a stop, turnover, missed field goal. This drive route, great heat sneak.
Ran out of gun last time. Hesitation up the handoff, and no signal. There it is. Matt Fuller finds pay dirt for the first touchdown of the season. On 3rd and 22, hoping McGowan can open the door. They're two totally different quarterbacks, but the ability to keep a play alive and to stay on your feet. When Lenora Sellers is healthy, he's a difference maker.
It's a cow with plastic horns, you know, but it's just in a backyard, a couple miles from here.
Yeah, it's in Irmo. I know a guy up there.
The short window of time you have to make that decision.
Luke Doty in a quarterback now.
We were talking to Bush Hamden and Mark Stoops about that. You have a couple.
Maybe you guys can stay late in practice. Cutter Boley hands it off. You know, Cutter's dad played college basketball at Western Kentucky, where he was a college roommate of former South Carolina head coach Darren Horn. Promised Darren I'd get that nugget in before the end of the game, and I beat it by 6 seconds. All South Carolina, 21-point second quarter, and the swing game goes the Gamecocks' way, and we'll see if they can use that to catapult